Church and Sangha. I am Parson Michael, and this is our special Sabbath year October service. We're only having 4 services this academic year, and this is our October one. I'm glad you can join us. Welcome. Glad you could be with us. We are a multi-faith community melding together the beneficial teachings of Buddhism, Christianity, and earth-centered spirituality. We're grounded by the teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh. We're committed to eco-spirituality, eco-theology, and with that, the wild church movement has been wonderful for us because that's encouraged us to be outdoors with our solo sacred saunters. We'll get more into that in a bit. So I'll begin today with a ringing of the Tibetan singing bowl. And when you hear this bowl, the invitation is quite simple. Incredibly simple. My 4-year-old granddaughter could get it. The invitation is to simply enjoy the sound of the bell. In other words, the invitation is to be right here, right now, in this present moment. Here's the bell. Also, enjoy the sound of the rain. Much needed rain here in Ohio. I'm sorry?
You tap the microphone just to make sure it's working.
Oh, tap the microphone. We just want to make sure that the mic is working. Looks like the light is on and it should be working. We could lift it up higher if that would be helpful. No? Okay. So as you're watching online, if you're watching live, we'll try to keep an eye in terms of how we're connecting. If we lose connection, we'll just come right back with another video. It'll be a new video if we lose connection. But also, if you're having trouble hearing or anything like that, if you have comments, we encourage that as well. I'm going to give us a moment of mindfulness before I pass it on to Ollie. I invite you to just notice how you're sitting. I invite you to be aware of your toes. You might want to wiggle those toes a little bit. I invite you to be aware of your thighs. You might want to tap on them for a moment. I invite you to be aware of your shoulders. You can tap on each of those. And I invite you to rest your hands in your lap. You might want to have them face down, face up, whatever you prefer. As my yoga instructor online, Adrian Mitchell, always says, yogi's choice, yogi's choice. And thinking of your spine, which connects to your neck as part of your spine, thinking of that as one of our spiritual highways for the body, I invite you to notice your in-breath and your out-breath. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I hear the raindrops falling. Breathing out, and it is good. Breathing in, I am aware. Breathing out, I am beginning to relax. Breathing in, dwelling in this present moment. Breathing out, and this is a wonderful moment. In, out, rain, good. Aware, relaxed, present, wonderful. Gratitude and that sort of stuff you want to do? You want me to do it? Okay. We haven't done this in a while, so we're a little out of sync with that. But we have the papers that we usually have for the order of service. We forgot them at home. We're here in a metro park, and we don't have the papers, so we usually say, okay, I'll do this, you do that. We didn't do that today. We don't have the papers, so you might get a little bit of that. Plus, we just haven't done it for a while. What I'm going to do right now, and this Victoria Loers is awesome on this in terms of the Wild Church movement. You might want to look at her book, Church of the Wild, or the Church of the Wild Field Guide that we're even featured in. We want to give thanks for this space. We give thanks for the trees around us. We give thanks that we live on a planet where water falls from the sky. We give thanks for the ancestors. We're going to be talking about ancestors today. For without those ancestors, you could not be watching, I could not be talking. We give thanks for the land ancestors. In this area, the Shawnee, the Miami, and others. Further back, the Hopewell, the Abenaki. There are even some mounds in some of these metro parks here in the central Ohio. We give thanks for the birds that we don't see here in the rain. The creepy crawler critters who are underground. The minerals, there's a couple of great rocks that I consider friends right up there. We give thanks for being a part of this natural world. And we hope we can add to the good in this world.
So I'm Ollie, and I'm going to lead us in a moment in some movement meditation. And everything we do here is invitational. So I'm going to invite you in a moment, if you want to stand up and move and breathe with me. And also I want to invite anybody that's joining us online. Another way that you're invited to join us would be in the live chat. So if you want to put something in the live chat, I'm not sure if we will respond to most of that, but you can put something out there to tell us where you're at. We'll be doing prayers and concerns later on, adding some prayers anytime you want to. So that live chat is another way that you can be involved with what we're doing. So I'm going to stand up now, and if you'd like to stand, I invite you to stand too. Move this out of the way a little bit. Make sure I'm, are we good? Okay.
Maybe if you step a little forward.
A little forward? Good.
Oh, no, back to step.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to move that back a little bit. So I'm going to invite you to feel your body standing. Um, First thing is your feet. If you're barefoot, might be a little more fortunate than me right now, but you could lift your toes and open your toes a bit and then put them back down. Go up on your toes and then go down to your heels and kind of move back and forth, a little side by side, feeling the stability in your lower body and also feeling your grounding with this earth. I invite you to kind of push into the earth and then pull up through your body, lifting at your head. I invite you to put your arms down, your hands facing forward, with your chest and your heart lifted. This is a mountain pose in yoga. It's a very stable pose. And when we're here at the park, the one thing I think about, and I think about this other times too, is around us are all of these trees. These trees who spend their whole lives here in this park, grounded and rooted. And so I try to get that sense right now of my feet, the roots going down into the earth, and then the lifting of my body. Try to think of this reciprocalness that we have with the earth through our feet and our breath, that we can take from the earth with our breath in and receive and exhale, release. We're going to start moving here from this position. So I invite you to take a deep breath and lift up your arms all the way up. And exhale, bring them down. So we're just going to do breath made visible. Inhale, lift and stretch. Maybe you want to lift up your hands. Exhale, stretch them out and down. A couple more times with our breath made visible. Inhale, up and stretch. Exhale, down. Next time, inhale up. Exhale, I want you to stop right in the middle here. Woo. Your next inhale, take your right hand on top of your left arm, maybe give yourself a hug. Right here. Touching your body, breathing in and out. Maybe you want to close your eyes, kind of cocooning just a little bit in your body. On the next exhale, open up again, stretch out, heart open. On an inhale now, your left hand on top, opposite. Breathing in and out, feeling your body. Another inhale, open up. This time, we're going to put the right hand on top and we're going to put our arms into eagle arms. You can be like this, you can be like this. And then breathe. I want you to move your spine if you can. All right, invite you to. And you want to bend your knees a little. Just move around, feeling this opening up of your shoulders. And on the next inhale, we're going to open back up. This time we're going to put our hands behind us and put them together, our fingers together, and push down and breathe from here with your heart open. Maybe stretching your neck a little bit. And exhale, we're going to come back out. And inhale, we're going to do it with our left arm on top. Do our eagle arms again. And breathe in here. Feeling your body opening up, any tightness, any releasing you want to do of energy. We're going to open out again on an inhale. Go back, and this time have the opposite thumb on top when you pull your arms down. Again, chest lifted, even the neck lifted a little bit if that feels safe to you. Breathing in and out. Okay, we're going to release that. We're going to go back up one more time. This time we're going to go down and we're going to do a flat back. So we can look at the ground. We're going to bend your knees a little bit, keep your back straight, hands on your thighs, head facing one way, bottom facing the other. Just kind of looking at the world from a different perspective. I'm going to turn my head a little bit to the right, and then turn my head a little bit to the left, stretching my hamstrings, coming with my neck back straight, bending my knees a little bit and lifting back up. All the way up and down. And from here, I'm just going to have us do a little bit of breathing movement. The wind is blowing around us, the earth, we can feel the earth all around us right now. And I want to move a little bit like the earth. So we're just going to go from one side to the other, breathing up and kind of turning, and exhale, coming down. Inhale, looking, exhale, down. So kind of at your own speed, with your own breath, moving your arms if you'd like. Actually getting your heart and lungs moving a little bit more. So you could even go faster, like. Just a few more times. And I want you to slow down, just slowly, slow down. So we're still again in that mountain position where our feet are grounded, our chest is lifted, our neck and our head are lifting up, our fingers are forward, and I'm going to invite you, if you want, to put your thumb and your pinky together. This is a water mudra, if you'd like to. It feels appropriate here. I'm going to close my eyes here. You might want to lower your gaze. We're just going to spend a minute feeling our breath, listening to the rain around us. I invite you to take one more deep breath in and move your arms to the side, all the way up. With your thumb, go down slowly into prayer position. Maybe touch your thumb to your forehead, your thumbs to your nose. Have it trace down your body a little bit. Just feeling yourself, touching yourself to your thumbs. Reach your heart. If you haven't already, you can open your eyes. I'm just going to bow in gratitude to this beautiful heart that is around us. Peace.
Thank you, Ms. Holly. Thank you. I'm just going to mention, too, that during COVID, like many people, we knew people who died. And during COVID, we took it as an opportunity for doing more yoga. And then Ollie and I both received yoga training and became certified yoga instructors. And I share that because in difficult times, and I think almost everyone can agree these are difficult times, no matter what your personal political persuasions, can we find the good? And what the phrase that Ollie and I came up with is, we've heard of the law of unintended consequences. What about the law of unintended beneficial consequences? That doesn't deny the awfulness of anything that's going on, but can we also find the beneficial? I oftentimes think of the Chinese invasion into Tibet and the wars in Vietnam by the French and the Americans. That brought the Dalai Lama and the Vietnamese Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh to the West. Those teachings have had such a powerful effect on me. Now, I'm not glad or grateful for the Vietnam Wars. I'm not happy at all about what happened in Tibet. and there were still beneficial consequences. And with Buddhism, we speak of impermanence, everything changing, and Thich Nhat Hanh says in particular, everything composting. So I just put that out there as that invitation of what might be composting for you in challenging times. Our first reading today is going to come from Caitlin Matthews. Gosh, she's a wonderful teacher. It's from her book called The Daily Spirit, Daily Meditations for the Turning Year. And as you'll hear in this reading, we're approaching a Celtic turning, what is known as Samhain. And I'll go ahead and read this adaptation from Caitlin Matthews. The Celtic stream of wisdom is a living river that flows on. An enduring Celtic philosophy or life view is recognizably present in Britain, Ireland, Cornwall, Scotland, and Wales, as well as in the Celtic diaspora worldwide. The Celtic tradition offers great hospitality of spirit, welcoming the seeker as a sacred guest, honoring each personal quest without regard for spiritual background. The reclamation of our spiritual authority from the alienation of institutionalization begins with our reclamation of the world of spirit as we experience it, especially in the daily, seasonal, and annual cycles of our lives. Celtic tradition highlights 4 sacred turnings of the year. There is Imbolc at the end of January, beginning of February, Beltane, or May Eve, and Lunasa in late July and the beginning of August. The 4th sacred turning is upcoming in less than 2 weeks, on the eve of November. It is called Samhain. Our modern Halloween, while lacking the sacredness of Samhain, is derived from this ancient Celtic holy day. Our dressing in costumes at night and lighting carved jack-o'-lanterns are products of Samhain tradition. Samhain marks the new year for the Celts. It is seen as the beginning of winter. Samhain was and continues to be a liminal time when the wall between our world and the world of spirit is particularly thin. It is the time when the worlds of the living and the ancestral realms overlap. It is a time for remembrance of the dead, for welcoming loved ancestors, and blessing those who are on their pathways beyond this life. In honor of Samhain and this liminal time when the wall between our world and the world of spirit, the world of ancestors, is particularly thin, our second reading comes from Judeo-Christian tradition, and it's taken from Ezekiel chapter 37, verses 1 through 10. So I invite you to think of the ancestors at this holy Celtic time of year as we listen to this Old Testament reading from Ezekiel. the valley of dry bones. The hand of the Lord came upon me and brought me out by the Spirit of the Lord and set me down in the middle of a valley. It was full of bones. He led me all around them. There were very many lying in the valley, and they were very dry. He said to me, "Mortal, can these bones live?" I answered, "Oh Lord God, you know." Then he said to me, "Prophesy to these bones and say to them, O dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Thus says the Lord God to these bones, I will cause breath to enter you, and you shall live. I will lay sinews on you, and will cause flesh to come upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and you shall live, and you shall know that I am the Lord. So I prophesied as I had been commanded. And as I prophesied, suddenly there was a noise, a rattling, and the bones came together. Bone to its bone. I looked, and there were sinews on them, and flesh had come upon them, and skin had covered them. But there was no breath in them. Then he said to me, Prophesy to the breath. Prophesy, mortal, and say to the breath, Thus says the Lord God, Come from four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. I prophesied as he commanded, and the breath came into them, and they lived, and stood on their feet, a vast multitude. As I was reading that, reading it earlier this week, and I read about the breath, the wind, and I thought, that was the earthly element. That was the earth part that was a necessary piece. And in Judeo-Christian tradition, breath, ruah, is associated with spirit. And of course, breath is life. And breathing is a big part of mindfulness. And with that, I'm going to invite you to sing a song that some of you may know, Breathing In, Breathing Out, by Thich Nhat Hanh and Betsy Rose. I'll invite the bell to sound, and then we'll have this song from Thich Nhat Hanh's tradition. Before we do the song, I just want to say, I want to say thank you to one of the people who, in the comments, they wrote, "What gem have we stumbled upon?" That was very sweet. Thank you. And I find myself thinking of what I guess I call a Christian mantra, where I said it this morning to Ollie. In the story of the Transfiguration on the hill, Peter says, "Lord, it's good to be here." And I love that phrase, and I just offer it. Sitting here in this shelter, being here with you. I know we have our Pittsburgh friends with us, and we have some others as well. The colors of the leaves, the much needed rain, autumn, Samhain. Lord, it's good to be here. And now the breathing in, breathing out song, if you'd like, you can sing along with me. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. I am blooming as a flower. I am fresh as the dew. I am solid as a mountain. I am firm as the earth. I am free. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. I am water reflecting what is real, what is true. And I feel there is space deep inside of me. I am free, I am free, I am free.
Going to lead us in our third reading. This reading is from Thich Nhat Hanh, and it's from the book Pieces Every Step, which is the book that we recommend people to start with if they haven't read any Thich Nhat Hanh. Wonderful, wonderful book. We've been reading it for the past 30 years. The section I'm reading today is "We are all linked to each other." Millions of people follow sports. If you love to watch soccer or baseball, you probably root for one team and identify with them. You may watch the games with despair and elation. Perhaps you give a little kick or a swing to help the ball along. If you don't take sides, the fun is missing. In wars, we also pick sides, usually the side that's being threatened. Peace movements are born of this feeling. We get angry, we shout, but rarely do we rise above all this to look at the conflict the way a mother would who is watching her two children fighting. She seeks only their reconciliation. In order to fight each other, the chicks born from the same mother hen put colors on their faces. This is a well-known Vietnamese saying. Putting colors on our own face is to make ourselves a stranger to our brothers and our sisters. We can only shoot others when they are strangers. Real efforts for reconciliation arise when we see with eyes of compassion. And that ability comes when we see clearly the nature of inner being and our interpenetration of all beings. In our lives, we may be lucky enough to know someone whose love extends to animals and plants. We may also know people who, although they themselves live in a safe situation, realize that famine, disease, and oppression are destroying millions of people on earth and look for ways to help those who suffer. They cannot forget the downtrodden, even amidst the pressures of their own lives. At least to some extent, these people have realized the interdependent nature of life. They know that the survival of the underdeveloped countries cannot be separated from the survival of the materially wealthy, technically advanced countries. Poverty and oppression bring war. In our times, every war involves all countries. The fate of each country is linked to the fate of all others. When will the chicks of the same mother hen remove the colors from their faces and recognize each other as brothers and sisters? The only way to end the danger is for each of us to do so and to say to others, I am your brother. I am your sister. We are all humankind. Our life is one. With that reading, I'm going to invite us into a time of prayer and joys and concerns. So with the live chat, if you guys want to join us, you can. I could probably see them right here too. When I'm looking, yeah, I think I can see them right here. So anyone who has joys and concerns can add them here in a minute. But I'll just get us in a state of meditation, prayer, appreciation, gratitude, open hearts. So I invite you just to check your body again, how easily we lose contact with it. Notice the way you're sitting. Notice your spine. Notice your breath. Start to lengthen your inhales and your exhales. With your inhales, bring in some love from the earth, and your exhales, release the love in you. Inhale the strength of the earth's energy, and exhale love and peace and hopefulness. I will share a couple of joys and concerns and prayers, and then I'll look and see if people have added those to the chats as well. As Michael mentioned, a joy today for being back here at this park. We've actually been coming here a little bit in September. I've been leading yoga here in the park, and it is just beautiful. Come back here, and it's beautiful to be here with you all who are joining us on YouTube now or in the future. An appreciation for this rain, again, as Michael said, that's so needed here in Columbus, Ohio. Our trees have not been bursting with color, and I am hoping this rain may start it. I see a tiny bit of orange and a tiny bit of red. I'm hoping some of those colors will pop. Prayers for people that are struggling, hungry, and angry. Let me go on to see if I have some of your prayers and concerns. Wait, see if it's around. Okay, you're still here. Oh, did it go off? Did it go off?
No, it's record. It says live here.
Okay, sorry, it keeps going off for me, right here. Okay.
I can share here.
Okay, I don't know if they can hear you though, right there. I have it now.
Okay, go ahead.
Carol saying so back to be back, so good to be back together. Stacy sending grateful, joyous thanks for the live string, for the movement. People saying hello. Stacy, grateful, I am free, I am free, I am free. Joy for sacred ground, live in the peaceful rain. Concerns for world peace. More love, more oneness. We are all one people, one world. Tim in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. So beautiful here and everywhere this morning. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. And
I'll speak up so I can
Okay.
for the prayer.
okay, you want to come?
Oh,
Yeah. You just come a little closer.
I just want to say just a prayer of gratitude, hearing from Carol and Stacy. It's been a long time since with the Sabbath we've been doing, since we've connected with you all, and so wonderful that we are connecting again. And it's another example of the law of unintended beneficial consequences. We started this work in '09, and it wasn't until COVID when we started being online. So we began in 2009, but not until 2020 did we start to do online programming because we had to. And my goodness, again, I'm oftentimes not a big fan of social media, the internet, certainly not a fan of COVID, but my goodness, the good that has come. So gratitude for that.
Yes. Thanks to you all who are joining us this morning. Thank you. So we will lift up these prayers, knowing that they add to the good in this world. They add to the peace in ourselves and in others. They will ripple and have reverberations and help the world with each drop. We do help the world. And with peace, amen.
I want to acknowledge
Yes.
Tim in North Carolina. Wonderful for you to be here, and also Mark and Stacy's mom.
And Mark, yes, and Mark,
Yeah, so
and,
awesome.
and others.
And others. We know there are others who are not commenting, who are or that we're missing, because we do sometimes miss a comment. So please offer us some grace, because we have missed them, and I know sometimes that's hurt people's feelings. We don't mean to do that, but that does sometimes happen. We're very human. I'll invite the bell to sound, and do you want this to sound? And then I'll share a little bit. I find myself thinking that Ollie might be considering this quite dangerous, because I haven't had an opportunity to give a Dharma talk for months. So sit back, folks. We'll be here till about 9 tonight. No. I will attempt to be brief. Mark's like, okay, good luck. No, I will attempt to be brief. We had an opportunity yesterday with a couple of friends, Eric and Donna, to go to a Day of the Dead celebration here in Columbus. It was awesome. most of what was being explained in Spanish, and my 2 years of high school Spanish were not helping me. But it was wonderful to just enter this other cultural experience and to be among these Latino folks and to experience this celebration. And I found myself thinking, oh, isn't it interesting, because this is a little early for the Day of the Dead celebration, but they had it this weekend. Isn't it interesting that we have this ancient cultural tradition from Mexico honoring the ancestors' death and dying, and we have this very similar honoring of the ancestors' death and dying of Samhain in Celtic tradition. And then I'm half Irish, half Slovak, and I know from Slavic tradition there's a thing called the Dijadi, which is in November, an honoring of those who have passed. So there's just, it's really lovely how these things, however that has worked across oceans and across peoples and across spirit, it's awesome. I also found myself thinking of, as we think of the ancestors and the descendants, we could think of almost this vertical. And then as we think of this, the reading that Ollie shared from Thich Nhat Hanh, how we're connected with all, including those who are so-called enemies, and this, if we could get the view of the mother or father, we are all one family, that's kind of the horizontal. And again, it's a lovely way of thinking about, in Celtic tradition, the cross, this unification of the vertical and the horizontal. Found that little thought flowing through me this morning. And finally, I'll share a brief story that comes up with me with Ezekiel and the bones. As we speak, out in the rain here in central Ohio, our elder son, 25 years old, is out running in the marathon, his first marathon. And his name is Meshach. And 25 years ago, when we were trying to come up with a name for him, I'm into my ethnic heritage, and I know that, like my grandfather, he would have been called Miško, which means Mikey in Slovak. Actually, my mom, whose parents came from Slovakia, she called me Miško the other day. I didn't even tell my wife this. She called me Miško the other day. I don't remember ever calling me that. It's like, oh my goodness, that just touched my spirit. But anyway, Meshach, who we sometimes called Miško when he was a little boy, I thought of his great-grandfather from Slovakia, because Ollie would not go with any of the Slavic names that I came up with, Miroslav and Yanoslav and Slavos. She said, no. So we came up with Meshach, and as many of you may know, that's from the book of Daniel in the Hebrew Bible, where these three young men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, go into a fiery furnace because they refuse to worship gold. And while they're thrown into the furnace, they somehow come out unharmed. And they were thrown into the furnace. First, they refused to eat the rich foods that were being offered by Nebuchadnezzar, and then they're thrown into the furnace, and they only ate fruit and vegetables. Well, we were full vegetarian when Meshach was born. He only ate fruits and vegetables. So that seemed befitting. And then I thought about the story of the furnace. My mom, incredible blessing, still lives with us. She's 96 years old. She was the youngest of 7 children. Last one still around. And her father died in 1931 when she was 2 years old. Her father died due to an accident at the steel mill. We are from the Youngstown, Ohio area, Youngstown Steel Mills. Our son was born, Meshach, in 2000, had the cord around his neck 3 times. We had midwives. We had a home birth. Our midwife had seen the cord around the neck once, many times, twice a few times, and in the 100-plus births she had attended, she had never seen a cord around the neck 3 times. But he was fine. I mean, it was a couple of days of raspy breathing, but then he was fine. And it occurred to me that Mishko, Michael Cassoni, my grandfather, who my mother can't even remember, or maybe remembers a little tiny bit, in 1931, he went to work in the steel mills where the fiery furnaces burned. And a lot of people thought that he died there. But I say, in the year 2000, 69 years later, Mishko came out unharmed. Because our son, Mishko Malley, could not live with his bones and his sinew and his flesh. He could not exist if it were not for the dry bones of his great-grandfather, Michael Cassoni, in the graveyard at Lake Park Cemetery in Youngstown, Ohio. We've named this with our son, but without the name, it is true of every one of us. You may have fond memories of a grandparent or great-grandparent. You may be fortunate and still have a grandparent or great-grandparent around. You may have difficult memories. Maybe they were troubled people. Maybe they even caused some harm. But without them, there is no us. My nephew, Sean, when he visited our house, I think it was last year, he and his wife, Ashley, I think spotted it first. She looked on the wall and there's this painting, old photograph of Peter McKee, who came over from Ireland. His great-great-grandfather. And you look at that photograph of Peter McKee, who's born in the early 1800s, and you can see Sean's face. We are all continuations, and not just through blood. I think of Dr. Peter Beckett, my professor at Youngstown State. I think of Mrs. Ruark, my second grade teacher. I think of my buddies Joe and Mitch. I think of ladies like Ann Duffy, a friend of my mom, Betty Seamack. I think of people like my Aunt Mary, who never had any children. You cannot describe me without Aunt Mary. You cannot describe me without Joey and Mitch and Dr. Pete Beckett. We are made of each other. And no one is excluded. Even those who drive us crazy, even those who may be causing harm. Thich Nhat Hanh invites us into the view. We are all children of one mother, Mother Earth. We are all children of God. We are all part of this planet, and we are all spirit. Please say amen. I hope your Samhain coming up in late October is a good one.
We're gonna do our wild saunter time now, where we just have a meditative time in nature here. And so it's Michael and I just here today, and so I don't know if we'll go off or not because it's raining. You probably will. We have umbrellas and rain jackets. But we invite you, I'm gonna turn the camera a little bit, hopefully not lose the stream, to have it just look out. And I know I've been listening, you can hear the rain so lovely on the stream. But maybe we'll do like 10 minutes today, just because of the rain and the, I know Michael's gonna say 15, I knew that. So we'll do 15 minutes today. So we invite you, you can sit, still listening to the rain and watching this here, or you could go out into your yard, or look out a window, or be that way in nature too. But we will come back here in 15 minutes. We'll share a little bit from what happened during those 15 minutes with us, and you are welcome then to share in the live chat with us too. And Michael Sands, what Michael Malley?
Yeah, just be open to the Spirit in terms of where you're led.
Okay, so Michael's saying being open to the Spirit to where you're led. If you're led to sit and watch, whether you're led to look out a window or led outside, be open to where the Spirit leads you during these 15 minutes. And right now, what time is it, Michael Malley?
I have 11:28.
11:28, so about 11:42 we'll come back here. So, peace to you. I'll welcome us back with the sound of the bell. So, this model of church is this wild church model, comes from a book by Victoria Lors, called Wild Church, or Church of the Wild, called Church of the Wild. And in this, what we do is after our solo saunter time, we have a time for sharing, where people can share. And so I'm going to share a little bit right now, and Michael will, and anyone that has joined us that wants to share in the live chat, if you share there, I will try to read that. So give you guys a moment to write in there if you want, if you'd like to share, and we'll share that with everyone. So during my solo saunter time, I was drawn over to where I had put the camera, to this kind of field over there, a prairie that they have left on the prairie. And I had mentioned before, and I've been saying this, like, it's just not a colorful autumn this year. It's been so dry. Maybe that's why I haven't seen the colors. And I went over there, and if you look closer, you see red, drops of red and more yellow. And so it was really interesting to me, and now I'm looking back here, I can't see it. But when I was up close, I could see red leaves, and there's a tree back over here with a sweet gum tree with some red leaves. And the colors there is just so much more subtle and not there, not really everywhere yet. So we'll see. So that was the one thing I thought of. And the second thing, when I was walking, is I'm thinking about our son, like Michael said, Meshach, who is running the Columbus Marathon today. And what a day for a marathon. Although he said yesterday it was like 80 degrees. He said that would have been worse to have 80 degrees, rather to be 60 degrees and rainy than 80 degrees is what he said for a marathon. It's his first marathon. So lots of people in Columbus out running this marathon now. My thoughts went to this 25-year-old son of ours. And then to, on our phone, there's a group chat between our 4 children, ourselves, and 2 of the children's spouses. So really our 6 children and us. And the gratitude, I was getting welled up with emotion thinking about this. They've done this group chat before the marathon, and then today, before the service, I checked it, and our son at that point was halfway through the marathon, and our other son, who's 18 years old, was at a Halloween party last night, must be awake because he liked the comment that his brother was halfway through the marathon. And my goodness, the blessings, the overflowing blessings in our lives. And I was overcome by emotion, really, walking in this rainy day, this beautiful park, thinking about our children. I'm reading a book right now about gratitude and gratefulness, and this gratefulness and having gratefulness, just waking up with gratefulness, and that not being dependent on anything else, not dependent on things that happen, just having gratefulness at your core. And right now I can feel that so deeply, and I feel so blessed that I'm able to access that at this moment. And I feel that so deeply being here with you, with people that we know and have been connected to for a long time, with new people, and just being able to be here ourselves and being with you, just filled with gratitude. So thank you. Peace.
I'm Michael, and to begin my sharing, I have these little pine cones that I found, and I've picked up pine cones in this area before, and I'll just put these down, a little offering of these pine cones. Maybe I'll talk about that for a minute. As I shared earlier about some of the ancestors who are part of me, and I love how Thich Nhat Hanh speaks of blood, spirit, and land ancestors, all three. And I think of my Aunt Mary, who didn't have children, but is certainly one of those ones who helped me to be who I am. I think of other people I know in their roles with other children or with other people who may or may not have children themselves, but the roles they play with others. My Aunt Mary, I call her Ha-Ha. I didn't know why until I was about 12 years old, and I saw her with one of my nephews or nieces, and she was walking around the room, and as she walked, she bounced and she sang, "A turkey in the straw," and ha, 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 ha. I was like, oh my goodness, that's why she's Ha-Ha. And I didn't even know that. I just called her Ha-Ha for years. All these connections. I had a feeling, I am glad when Ollie said 10 minutes, I went 15, right? If I had it to do over again, I'd do it 4 times and said 20.
Yes, you would have.
I would have, yeah, because I went to the restroom on my solo saunter time, or sacred solo saunter, and then coming back, there are these 2 evergreens. That's where I got pine cones from. I don't know what type of tree they are. They're rather unusual to my eyes and beautiful. And there are these 5 stones or boulders that have been clearly arranged, almost like a natural statue or a natural piece of art. And I've spent time with those particular trees and those particular rocks before. And I have a story, the pine cones, I think it's about my earliest memory. And I don't know if it's an accurate memory. I asked my mom about it recently. She didn't recall this event. But I have a memory of being alone, kind of on a hillside. I feel like it might have been overlooking like a golf course or something, collecting pine cones. And that the adults didn't know where I was, and then they then found me, and I had all these pine cones. I have this association with pine cones very early in my life. But when I was walking back after I spent a little bit of time with the one tree, and I like to lean my forehead against the trunk, and I found today I just didn't even want my hands upon, just my forehead. And then I did a little bit with the back of my head against it, which is more Slavic tradition, I've learned, to put your back up against a tree. And then I just did a brief touch of the forehead to the second tree, and then a brief touch of my hand to the 5 stones. And the feeling as I was walking back here, knowing, oh gosh, we got to get back, the 15 minutes are almost up. It reminded me of when I go to the coffee shop. And I like to go there and work, but I also like to visit with friends there. But sometimes I only have of course, I only have a short time. I have to get back for something at home. I have a meeting, or I have a phone call, or there's something, needs done that I can't stay. And it might be on a particular day when some of the friends I haven't seen for a while show up there. And it's such a hard thing because I want to hang out with them. But I might just have time to say hello or, to banter for 30 seconds. It felt like that to me today. With those 2 trees and with those 5 stones. Ollie, she mentioned that she's doing some yoga and mindful movement here in the park. And I've been taking that time and going kind of into the woods, and there's a lovely turn in the creek that I really enjoy. And I want to go back to that, but I think next time while she's doing her mindful movement work, I'm probably going to come and spend more time with those 2 trees and those 5 stones. And I can't explain what that is, but it feels like friendship or burgeoning friendship. I don't know them that well. And I know that just sounds wacky and weird to a lot of people, or it sounds like crazy hippie stuff or whatever. I don't know. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for feeling that. I'm just very thankful. I don't know what it is that enables me to feel that like, oh, that tree is kind of like my friend, or kind of becoming my friend, or that stone is kind of becoming my friend. I don't even know what that means, but I'm super grateful for it. I'm grateful for people like Victoria Lors and her sister Valerie, who's an acquaintance friend of ours, for kind of encouraging this as well. So, thank you.
So I just want to share, Stacy shared. Barley Boo and Cooper too enjoyed their saunter. We're going to search for colorful trees later today. A favorite time of year. We are all truly blessed. And the love of those are their puppies. And the love of the animals in our lives that are just so special to us. So thank you for sharing that, Stacy and Mark and Stacy and your mom. So nice. So it's gonna have a bell ring, and then I'll do announcements. Okay. So we are on a sabbatical this year, but we are doing 4 services. So this is one. The next service will be in December. Okay, Michael doesn't. I don't know.
It's on the.
It's on.
It's on the order service. It says.
Oh, it does. Okay, so I'm gonna just give me a minute, and I will find it. Because we didn't print out. Print this out today. So sorry. No?
Under announcements?
Nope. This is 4 services. So, I don't know. Okay. But it doesn't matter. We will send an email out saying what it is. I think it's the second week of this. We sent an email before. It is on our website. So our website is theholynow.org. On there is our calendar, and it's listed on there. We will be sending out a reminder in email. If you're not on our email list and would like to be, go to the Contact Us page on our website, and we'll get you on that email list to get all the emails. If you'd like to support us monetarily, you can on the website. Also, there's a donate page. And then there's all sorts of other information and links to our YouTube channel and to our other websites. To podcasts we've done. So you can go to theholynow.org to get more information. And again, thank you so much for joining us. And Michael will lead us out in a prayer.
And if you are local to Columbus, Ohio, Central Ohio, Ali is doing some yoga and mindful movement.
I am.
And if you'd like to be on the mailing list for that unfortunately is not available online, but that is in person. So if you're local and would like to attend that, if you have our email, or you can through the holynow.org, you can contact us and let us know you'd like to be on that list for mindful movement in person.
Thanks, Michael. I forgot.
I'll invite the bell to sound, and then I will offer a closing meditation prayer. the words functional and transactional come into my mind as like, what's the function of this? What do I get in this transaction? And I think that when we do a solo saunter, when we enter into prayer or meditation, when we choose to interact closely with a pet dog or a nearby pine tree or stone, we're inviting ourselves out of that transactional or functional and into a more relational and reverential. I certainly felt that at the Day of the Dead festival yesterday. That was a beautiful festival. I don't know if I mentioned, within a cemetery, within a beautiful Green Lawn Cemetery in Columbus. And so I invite us into that relational, reverential space. We offer gratitude for each other, for relations that offer us healing and hope and meaning. I said today's theme was upcoming Samhain and ongoing healing. I didn't use the word healing, but it's implicit in everything we talked about. We give thanks for the ancestors with all their blessings and all their imperfections. The ancestors in our bloodlines, but the spiritual ancestors, the artists, the teachers, the musicians, the friends and neighbors who have inspired us. We give thanks to the land ancestors, like the Shawnee and the Hopewell of this land, the land ancestors of the trees, the plants, the animals. Oh, Great Spirit, these are not easy times. There's much anxiety and fear and worry. And there is that which must be mourned. There is loss. There's violence. There's hate. There is hurt. There is discord. And help us to know, there is kindness. There is caring. There is selflessness. There's work for equality and justice. There's concern for others known and unknown. There's swelling compassion. There's desire for bridge building. Desire to comprehend the other. And there's possibility for good. Possibility to take that view that Thich Nhat Hanh invites. That view that shows us our connections. that view that Ezekiel espouses of recognizing the dry bones are not dry bones. The practices that Caitlin Matthews encourages to honor the ancestors, whether it be through European festivals of Dijadi or Samhain, festivals of this continent like the Latino festival of Day of the Dead. Help us, Great Spirit, within us and around us, to keep on turning towards what is healing and healthy and sacred and hopeful for each other, for our earth, and for all beings. We are the continuations help us to recognize this non-linear, incredible, magical, holy circle helix that is a part of us all. We give thanks. Peace and amen, and amen, and amen. And we look forward to seeing you all hopefully in December.
December 14th.
December 14th. Thank you, Ollie. Sunday, December 14th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you have questions or if you just want to share something with us, you're welcome to send us an email, reach out, and may it all continue. Peace and amen.